Όπως έχετε ακούσει, μου έχουν ζητήσει να κάνω την ομιλία μου στα αγγλικά, αφού υπάρχουν εδώ και παρευρισκόμενοι που δεν μιλούν ελληνικά. Είμαι σίγουρη ότι όμως ότι όλοι θα καταλάβετε ακριβώς τι λέω. Όλοι μιλούμε αγγλικά έτσι κι αλλιώς. I just said that I've been asked to do my speech in English. Γιώργος Κουκουμάς is going to follow anyway with Greek. Θα ακολουθήσει ο Γιώργος ο Κουκουμάς στα ελληνικά. Today is day 323 of the ongoing genocide that, on the contrary to what mainstream media might want you to believe, did not begin on the 7th of October. It goes way back, even before the 1948 Nakba. It goes back to the day when the imperialist powers and the Zionists set their eyes on Palestine. A land without a people, for a people without a land. But they forgot to say that they had to expel the indigenous people on that land. They forgot to say that they would have to kill, steal, and ethnically cleanse Palestine of its indigenous people. Day 323 since October 7th. The reported death toll is around 40,000. According to Lancet's calculations, which takes into account the indirect deaths caused by famine, lack of medical aid, disease, that number is closer to 200,000. 200,000 innocent people, women and children, mostly children, dead, whilst we watch on our phones a live stream genocide. Every time there is another massacre, every time I watch another video, and another video, charred children, beheaded babies, real ones, not ones they have made up, people shredded to pieces. I wonder how many more must we watch before we say enough and start a revolution. Because a revolution is what is needed to change this world. If Palestine has done one thing, it's to show us the true face of Western imperial powers. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor is naked for us all to see his evil face. Palestine has showed to us Cypriots that we do not own our country anymore. We have been sold hook, line and sinker to the British and US military powers, and we are here to serve their interests and not the interests of the people. Because we, the people, say no to Cyprus being complicit to the Zionist plans of annihilating the Palestinian people. For the past 10 years at least, Cyprus has normalized relations with Israel. Under the previous president of the right-wing DC party, bilateral agreements were implemented, joint military exercises were staged, not to mention the collaboration on the East Med pipeline. Since October 7th, the current president of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulidis, has played down allegations that Cyprus is actually neutral and keeps repeating the narrative that the only assistance Cyprus is given is humanitarian aid. The facts on the ground, however, put a gaping hole in his narrative. He says there is not much we can do as a country regarding the use of the British bases on the island. But how about the US troops based at Akrotiri? How about the US troops that, due to lack of room on the bases, are staying in hotels in Limassol, walking on our streets? How about the warships using our ports? How about Larnaca and Paphos airports? How about the US military Boeing C-17 departing from Paphos in July in the direction of Israel and Gaza, and then returning to Cyprus 4.5 hours later? What was that aircraft carrying? We, the people, have the right to know. You cannot pull the wool over our eyes. You cannot gaslight us anymore. The silence of the political parties, with the exception of Agel, is deafening. And their ignorance on the dangers of our country's complicity is sickening. A couple of weeks ago, answering to the backlash and reaction to the presence of the US military USS Wasp amphibious assault ship, Anita Dimitriou, the President of the House of Representatives, said that we must cooperate with the EU and our allies. And questioning our Western orientation is not in our national interest. I have questions both for Christodoulidis and Dimitriou. Who do they mean by our allies? The USA, who supported the Greek junta that implemented the coup in Cyprus and led to the invasion and division of our island? The British or the international community who watched what was going on in Cyprus and did nothing because it did not serve their interest, just as they are doing now in Gaza? What does Anita Dimitriou mean when she says our Western orientation? Is she implying that the West is better than the East? That the West is virtuous while the East is evil? Surely that is a racist remark. I have news for you, Mrs. Dimitriou. No country in the Middle East has invaded a Western country in modern history ever.
Say it loud, say it clear, we don't want no Zionists here.
Say it loud, say it clear, we don't want no Zionists here.
On the contrary, it is the West and Europe that have invaded, colonized, and stolen the natural resources of the southern and eastern countries. The US alone has invaded and bombed more than 20 countries since the Second World War. And when they don't invade, they bomb from the air, stage coups to get rid of leaders that don't serve their interests, overthrow governments, fund militias, and create radical terrorist organizations. The list is endless. Is this who we want to be? We say no.
Hell no. No.
Our leaders in Cyprus are not thinking of our interests and our protection. Do not let them fool you. Do they really believe that aiding and abetting a genocide is in our interest? Do they not realize that just like in 1974, the involvement of the USA and their actions on our soil will ultimately give Turkey the excuse to de facto annex the occupied north of Cyprus? Maybe they do realize. Palestine and the Palestinians have taught the world a lot during the last 10 months. We have learned from their resilience. The world is watching. We pay homage to their resilience, to their love for their country, and we join them in the resistance against colonialism and imperialism. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch without doing anything. If Palestine is not free, we are not free.
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine! In our millions, in our billions, we are all Palestinians.
In our millions, in our billions, we are all Palestinians.
In our millions, in our billions, we are all Palestinians.
In our millions, in our billions, we are all Palestinians.